Hi, welcome to the Scobie Kenobi Racing Club YouTube channel, where this is our inaugural speak with people from the racing world, and we're delighted to have Conor McNamara, our jockey, who has ridden for us in the racing club already before, and who hopefully, will be on board our new purchase Groveman in the next couple of months. Right, Conor, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me, Dermot. Hope all is good.
Yeah, flying it. Apart from the weather and the COVID, of course.
Yeah, it is not ideal, but sure, we're plowing away through it.
You have to. Conor, things seem to be going well enough for you at the moment. Just there in the Dublin Racing Festival, you were the lovely winner for Mr. Mullins. Was it Maze Runner? It was a 40-1 shot. Not that you give a care about the price, but it's nice to ride him for Willie anyway.
Yeah, no, it was lovely to get it. Ostrich is always the time of year. I suppose it's nice to be riding when it's Dublin Racing Festival. A few weeks after Christmas and a few weeks before Cheltenham. I suppose the horse, if you'd have asked me after Navan, if he relaxed, would he have had a chance? I suppose he would have, but there's a lot of ifs and buts. But to be fair to him, he relaxed away well, and he got a lovely toe into the race, and it was lovely to get it.
Yeah. Ruby Walsh was on with Gary on Racing UK, or Racing TV as it is now, that day, and Gary asked him, he said, what did you think of him? And he said, well, if Willie had 7 in the race, I wouldn't have picked him, he said. And there was heat on his 6, so they didn't give him much of a chance, but like, you gave him a great ride, and it's if Willie Mullins has anything in a handicap like that, they all have chances, mustn't they?
Yeah, no, he see it time and time again. Sometimes his 6th string can be as good as his 1st string. I just has him so fit and so well, and they're good horses obviously as well, and they're all primed for the big days. It's Limerick or Leopardstown at Christmas, and Leopardstown in February, and Cheltenham in March, and Punchestown in April. And all this, I'm in a privileged enough position that I'm in there a few days a week, and he doesn't mind using me, and thank God.
That's your second big win for Willie, isn't it? Did you ride
Yeah,
another?
if you catch me now, won the Irish National Trial 12 months ago in Punchestown. That was my first winner for him, actually. And yeah, I know it was lovely to get it. Like, normally if you ride 2 winners for a fella, there might be 2 ordinary races, but both winners I've ridden for Willie have both been grade B handicaps. You know, it just goes to show the quality of horse, and like, one big winner a year would do you, you know, or every second year. It's just lovely to get it out there.
Yeah, that's great. So if you keep doing a couple a year for Willie, you'll be very, I said, you might even get to go to Cheltenham and ride one. Is there anything in the pipeline?
To be touch and go. From what I know, Gabby Nacko might go for the Martin Pipe, and Gavin might want me for that one, but Mr. Mullins will have a few in it as well. So listen, I don't know, with a bit of luck, to be nice to write something for him, but it'll be all a matter of what happens closer to the time.
That's good. Just want to bring you back to last week in I think it was Navan, where one of your fellow jockeys, Hugh Morgan, like, as in what happened when he rode Young Dev the other day, was unbelievable. Like, for people like were in awe as I said, in the racing world, but people who have watched it that are not in the racing world. And like I said, I was here sitting at home, and like, had no bet in the race, and I'm roaring and said, pull him up, and then all of a sudden he keeps going, and he wins. Like, how hard is it? Can you explain to people how hard it is when something like that happens to keep even on the horse?
Yeah, no, it is obviously incredibly hard. Touch wood, it hasn't happened to me in a race yet, but I suppose to a lot of jockeys, it would have the easiest way out would have been just to pull up. But to be fair to Hugh, once he lost his iron, and once he saw that he couldn't get it back, and once he jumped the next fence, like he said after, that was it was nearly not the easiest thing to do, but it might have just been the most sensible thing to do. Would maybe just have been to, if he had a chance like that, just to stay going and try and keep his legs wrapped around the horse. But like 3 miles where Navan, like I'm trying to think, what is 3 miles? 3 miles is probably 6 to 7 minutes on a horse, with your legs, both legs gripped against the horse's belly and girth as hard as you can for 7 minutes. Like if you were to crouch down on the ground, let's say just on your legs and crouch down in the crouching position for 7 minutes, like I can guarantee you get tired after 70 seconds, is to mention 7 minutes. Like, it's incredibly hard, but he was so fit, and I suppose jockeys are so fit nowadays that he was able to do it, and he gave him a very good ride. Like, even when he jumped the second last, Navan it's a long way up the straight, and Navan, he still didn't commit, and he knew if the horse got to the front too soon, he mightn't just stay going and be able to win, and he held on as long as he could. And that was an incredible ride, and like I say, like, to be able to do it and have the core strength to do it was fair play to him.
Yeah, excellent. It's great to see something like that. Okay, it was, anything could have happened to him, right? It could have, but like, when good things happen, everyone should be showing this and things like that, and it should be applauded. Onto yourself, I just checked your stats. Have you 49 winners ridden as a professional?
50 actually. The one on Maze Runner was my 50th a few weeks ago.
All right. So, like, can you explain to people now where, like, they see alongside your name is CP McNamara 5 and things like that? That's your claim. So how does the claim break down when you start riding? You're claiming 7, and then how many winners do you have to ride to get down to 5 and to 3?
Yeah, when you start off, let's say you start off with a 7-mile claim, and you have to ride 25 winners to go from £7 to £5. You have to ride another 25 winners to go from £5 to £3, and you have to ride another 10 winners to go from £3 to no claim, and that in total is obviously 60 winners. And once you ride out that, you ride out your claim. But it obviously gets harder the more you go down, but I suppose it's like anything, isn't it? Really, it's you're given an opportunity at the start, and like when you're given an opportunity with £7, like £7 is an awful lot of weight. Like, if you're to carry half a stone around on your back and go run 3 miles, you wouldn't be long about feeling it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the way the claim works.
Can I bring you back to the start where you rode your first winner? Can you remember it?
Yeah, first winner was Offshore Oscar for my father in Killarney. It was actually an opportunity handicap hurdle, and he was owned by a very loyal supporter of ours, and Aidan Ryan. And it was lovely to get it. I remember it like it was yesterday, and yeah, I'm pretty sure he's probably still one of my favorite horses. He's still down home, and hopefully he might be winning in the next few weeks as well.
You never know. Just basically, I want to talk about, like, what a jockey does on a normal day. Can you explain, like, just say of a normal day, there's no racing, kind of like from the time you get up, from, like, I think you're working with Gavin Cromwell at the moment, aren't you? Is that your main base?
Yeah, that's my main base. I live up here in Slane in County Meath, and I'm with Gavin Cromwell 4 days a week, and I'm in Willie Mullins' 2 days a week. I'm in Gavin's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm in Willie Mullins' Thursday and Saturday, and I'm in Gavin's then every second Sunday as well. My day-to-day routine, I suppose, it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. My days in Gavin's, I get up and I go to work. Now, I generally ride one before work as well in Screen at the Gallops for different trainers and whatever. And I kind of start at 7:30 in Gavin's, 5, 6, 7 lots, and let's say we'd ride 3 first thing in the morning, then we go for tea around 9:30, 10 o'clock, then we come back, ride another 2, 3 or 4, and at lunchtime then you get your break. I generally would go ride and work or whatever for different trainers around Meath and Screen or Lee Valley training grounds, and then I go back and work the full days in Gavin's. and work there till 5 o'clock. And I suppose in the evenings during the summer, maybe I might try and go for a run or do something to keep fit. But during the winter, I generally have, I suppose I've yearlings and bits and pieces. I can do horse on the side myself. So during the winter nights and some of the summer nights, be busy doing your own horses. But days, and then what am I, Willie Muns's Thursdays and Saturdays, I don't work full days in Willie Muns's. So let's say when I finish there in the mornings, I'd come up the road, and like that I could stop off and ride work for people and trainers on the Curragh, or that you'd always be going. If you weren't riding out for your designated trainers, you'd be riding work for whoever you could be.
Yeah, but that's where your agent comes in, isn't it, Gary Cribb? And he sets out your schedule, and then you have to go by that. Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, I start.
Or does he just look after your rides?
No, yeah, he looks after my rides, I suppose, mainly, but he could give you the odd text, let's say, to go ride work in Screen or Lee Valley. There might be some trainer would have texted him and said, I'm thinking of bringing horses to work either in them places or the Curragh. Would any of your jockeys be available to ride? And he might give you a text to go and ride that. Or let's say he will give you a text to say you're riding a horse next week, the trainer wants you to go and school it, and you could go anywhere around the country really to school a horse. To, some trainers, before they run horses, they like the jockey to get a feel for them.
Yeah, that's good. We'll keep moving on, and just a couple of quick fire questions, right? I presume you're always going to be involved in horses, right? Since your dad Eric, I said, had them up. So who was your idol growing up?
Who was my idol?
It doesn't have to be your jockey now, it can be anyone.
I suppose I don't really know any different on any horses. I suppose my idol growing up would have been Ruby Walsh. On them big days, he always seemed to be the man that came to the fore more often than not. And yeah, definitely Ruby Walsh, I would have said, would have been my idol growing up.
All right. Well, not many better than Ruby. Your best mate in the weighing room? Or if you have more than one, you don't have to.
I suppose to be wrong single one out. I suppose I'd be very good friends with Adam Short. He'd be a good mate of mine.
Right. On that, just say you had a big ride coming up, and for your dad, and just let's fantasize. Just say it was in Cheltenham in a big handicap, and you got injured. Right. God forbid. Who would you recommend to your dad to ride in a handicap? No, he can't claim or anything like that. So you just said anyone was available. Who would you?
Oh, jeez. I don't know what to be. Listen, I couldn't really answer. I suppose there's too many top class jockeys out there. Whoever's available. There's a pile of good jockeys from Paul Townend to Mark Walsh, Sean Flanagan, Johnny Moore, Darragh O'Keefe.
You could keep naming them. Okay, we won't.
Anyone,
yeah, we won't put you into it. Yeah, we won't make you follow with anyone. Right, Conor. Who's two quick answers? The best horse you've ridden at work and the best horse you've ridden on the track, if you can remember.
I don't. Best horse I've ridden on the track. Well, I rode Florin Porter, I suppose, for Gavin. I managed to get him beat off 118 or something. He's now rated 159. So I suppose he's probably the best horse I've ridden on the track. The best horse I've ridden at home, I've ridden a good few good horses of Willie Munns, I suppose. Saint Roy, I remember his last bit of work. He's one of his last bit of work for Cheltenham last year. I remember I rode him and I thought, wow, this is the real deal. Now I know he's been a bit disappointing this season for one reason or another. I don't know what seems to have been amiss, but yeah, I remember last year before Cheltenham, he was electric. There wasn't many that could burn up the gallop like him.
And unfortunately, Willie just came out the other day and said he's not going to Cheltenham, so he must have a few niggly problems that are causing him not to run well this year.
Yeah, I tell you, I haven't sat much on him this year at all. I don't really know what seems to be on the miss. I suppose he looked like he nearly had the world at his feet after he won the county. He looked like a real horse that was going to progress into a real life champion hurdle contender this year, and it just didn't happen for him. But listen, hopefully he'll come again next year.
Right, and finally, on this is it. Where did you watch the English Derby this year when Emmett rode the winner?
I actually was on the way home in the car, and I was listening to it on the Racing Post app on my phone, and I got into the house in Slane here, and I literally only saw from about Cheltenham Conor home, and I can't remember who was in the house. There was only 2 or 3 of us in the house, but I watched it at home in Slane. I didn't watch it at home in Limerick. My parents are renting, but I remember watching it home in Slane, and I was roaring the house down. I went from being very calm to a lunatic within the space of about a furlong.
Well, lucky Emmett didn't until he passed the winning line, but that's some achievement. Though must be the buzz he must have got inside must have been he's for all the time. I know he spent a lot of his time up with Aidan, and great job to have with Aidan O'Brien, but to ride a Derby winner and to finish second then in the as well, in the Irish Derby.
In the Irish Derby, that was on Tiger Moth. That was incredible. I actually he actually rode in Leopardstown in a maiden for one of Aidan's well before, I think it was about a month or 6 weeks before the Irish Derby. And I think 3 of the first 4 home or something ran in that maiden. And Emmett said that the maiden was better. The quality of horses Aidan was running in the maiden that day were better than horses that were running in the Derby trial. And he was right. He ended up finishing second on Tiger Moth in the Irish Derby. And he rang me after and we were on about it. And he said, "Jeez," he said, it's some pity. He said, not only would you have been a Derby win, not only would you have been a Group 1 win jockey, you would have been a Derby and a Classic winning jockey. And he said, "There's some pity, but sure, you never know, it might happen again." And lo and behold, whatever, a few weeks later, he wins the English one. And I suppose the English one's nearly bigger than the Irish one. It's more renowned. And that was incredible. I suppose your race, you're watching growing up, it's a bit like a national hunt jockey riding in the Gold Cup and winning it is incredible, really.
Yeah, your parents at home must have got some buzz over that.
Yeah, the dad managed to come through it alive with no heart irregularities after. How, I don't know, but he did. But yeah, I suppose for any father to see any of their kids and their son winning such a prestigious race in the horse racing world is incredible.
Yeah, that's great. Just Conor, on we're nearly finished. I just want 1 or 2 last things. Injuries, you've been lucky enough, haven't you?
Yeah, touch wood. I broke my collarbone once in a fall at home, and I broke my hand once in a fall at home as well. And I actually, touch wood, on the track, I've been very, very lucky. There's an awful lot more who've been less fortunate, but touch wood, I've been very lucky so far.
Yeah, you just have to be. You need luck, don't you? In fairness, if you haven't luck, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but they're owning them, training them, or riding them. You need an awful lot of luck.
Yeah, just to finish up, can you give us a horse to follow?
Horse to follow. I'm trying to think. One I like of Gavin Cromwell's. Let's be clear about it. He won 2 bumpers this year, and he was second behind Sir Gerhard in Navan, and he was second behind Kilcrut the last day in Leopardstown. I think next winter, over 2.5 miles or 3 miles even, on heavy ground, I think he's definitely a horse that could be a very good novice.
Yeah, and nearly finally, a banker for Cheltenham.
A banker for Cheltenham.
And it can't be an odds-on one now.
Can't be an odds-on one. Well, she's not odds on. She's 6-5, but concertista in the mare's hurdle, I think bar something happens, I think she's as good a price as any at 6-5. I think she should be an awful lot shorter than 6-5, because even on ratings, I don't think there's anything that we get within an arse's roar of her.
Yeah. And finally, are you looking forward to riding Groveman?
Yeah, I can't wait. He had good form the flat. Got him home, obviously, gave him a few weeks off, and he's back in, and tells me that he's going well, and with a bit of luck, we'll have a fruitful summer, and I'm looking forward to riding him. He jumps very well, apparently, so that's the first hurdle cross, so hopefully it's all uphill from here.
All right. Okay, Conor, thanks very much for joining us on our first chat with Scobie, and we'll talk to you again very soon. Okay?
Thank you.
Mind yourself.
Thank you very much, sir. Mind yourself.
No.